The palace of Zazzau was bathed in the soft golden hues of sunset, casting a warm glow over its towering walls and intricate carvings. Shadows stretched long across the cobblestone courtyard, where the bustle of daily life in the kingdom carried on. Merchants haggling, servants rushing, and soldiers standing watch. Yet, within the royal chambers, the world felt still, almost frozen in time. Nal sat at the side of her father's bed, her hand gently resting on his. The air was thick with the aroma of incense and the sharp tang of herbal remedies, as healers quietly whispered in the background. The once mighty king, whose strength had led Zazzau to countless victories, now lay weak and frail, his breath shallow, his chest rising with painful effort. His eyes, though tired and dimmed by the passage of time, still held a spark of love and pride for his daughter, a silent acknowledgement of all she had become.
Lala, my time is ending.
His words cut through the stillness of the room like a jagged knife, shattering the fragile silence that had settled between them. Though she had braced herself for this moment, preparing for what felt inevitable, the impact still struck her like a spear to the heart, leaving her breathless. Niall's chest tightened, and she blinked back the tears threatening to spill over, her vision blurring momentarily. Every fiber of her being urged her to crumble under the weight of his words, but she fought to remain steady, standing tall in the presence of the man who had once taught her what it meant to be strong.
Ferd, your time. Your time is just beginning. You will be the greatest leader Zamzau has ever known. You have the strength, the wisdom, the heart. I know this.
His words, though soft, carried the weight of destiny, echoing the truth of a prophecy spoken long before her birth. Each syllable lingered, filling the chamber with a gravity that pressed on her. Niall's heart swelled with pride in her father's unwavering faith, sorrow for the life she had soon leave behind, and fear of the uncertain future. Meeting his gaze, she saw his deep trust, but also sensed his unspoken worries about the dangers ahead. For years she had prepared, mastering diplomacy, ruling, and honing her strength. Yet the reality was far heavier than imagined. The unseen crown weighed on her, and the kingdom's fate rested in her hands. Despite the flicker of doubt, an ancient resolve stirred within. This was her destiny, and the path, though shrouded in uncertainty, called her forward.
I promise, Father, I will protect our people.
The king smiled faintly, his lips barely curling as if even that small gesture took great effort. His eyelids fluttered, each blink slower than the last, his once strong body succumbing to time. Yet, his gaze remained calm, serene, acceptance filling his fading eyes. He was at peace, knowing Zazzau would thrive under his daughter's capable hands, raised to lead with wisdom, strength, and grace. His chest rose one last time, a shallow breath, before his eyes closed gently. The great king of Zazzau, protector of his people, slipped into the embrace of his ancestors, leaving his legacy to the next generation. The day of her coronation dawned clear, the skies over Zazzau a cloudless blue, as if the heavens welcomed the new queen. Sunlight bathed the city, illuminating banners with the royal crest. In the courtyard, people gathered, nobility and villagers alike, all eyes on Nal, daughter of the great king, walking toward her destiny. As she ascended the throne steps, rhythmic drums echoed through the city. The scent of incense mingled with distant songs, filling the air with solemnity and celebration. Nal's steady footsteps led her to the throne. The crown's weight lingered, a silent promise of challenges and triumphs. Today, Zazzau's history began a new chapter with Nala as sovereign. The elders of the court, draped in rich crimson and royal blue, stood solemnly beside her. Their garments, embroidered with intricate patterns and adorned with ornaments, symbolized the kingdom's history. Each elder's feathered headdress reflected ancestral ties and wisdom, reminding Nal of the deep roots her reign would grow from. The high priest, in white robes embroidered with sacred symbols, stepped forward, holding the crown, a golden masterpiece encrusted with gems, shimmering with the Zazzau's power and legacy. As he approached, the crowd fell silent, anticipation thick in the air. This was the moment, the crowning of their new queen and the continuation of Zazzau's legacy.
I am Nala, Queen of Zazzau. Together we will build a kingdom that will stand for generations to come.
Her voice rang out, clear and strong, cutting through the air like the clang of a bell carried by the wind to every corner of the kingdom. Her words, filled with the conviction, resonated deeply with her people. For a moment, the world seemed to hold its breath. Then the people of Zazzau erupted in a thunderous roar. Nala! 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 Their voices merging into a powerful chant of hope and pride that echoed through the city. Nal stood tall, her heart pounding with the rhythm of their cries. She felt the strength of her ancestors flowing through her, connecting past, present, and future. In the days following her coronation, Nal quickly embraced her role as queen. The weight of responsibility fueled her determination. She met with trusted advisors, strategists, and generals, listening closely to briefings on the kingdom's affairs. Every map, report, and decision was analyzed with precision. Though the recent victory against the northern invaders brought relief, Nal knew it was only temporary. The invaders would return, driven by greed for Zazzau's resources. The kingdom was strong, but its enemies were many. Nal focused on preparing for future battles, strengthening alliances, fortifying defenses, and uniting her people. She would secure Zazzau's future.
Your Majesty, the northern tribes are rallying again. Their defeat has only made them more determined.
The generals exchanged glances, surprised and admiring. They had expected a leader, but Nal was far more than a figurehead. Clad in battle armor, she radiated authority, not just from her title, but from her inner strength. Her sharp, calculating eyes swept the room, commanding respect. Ready to lead from the front lines where battle awaited, her resolve was as solid as the steel she wielded. There was no hesitation or doubt in her stance or voice. With the heart of a warrior and the mind of a strategist, the generals knew, under her leadership, the kingdom stood a real chance. Years passed, and under Nal's reign, Zazzau flourished like never before. Once known for its military prowess, the kingdom became a beacon of prosperity and unity. Nal's wisdom in battle was matched by her compassion for her people, who admired her as one of their own. She forged strong alliances, negotiating peace through diplomacy as skillfully as wielding a sword. Trade routes expanded, bringing wealth and culture to Zazzau. Barren fields bloomed, artisans crafted stunning works, and the people, no longer fearing war, walked with pride. Nal's legacy became woven into the kingdom's future, an era of peace and prosperity. The stories of Queen Nala's bravery and wisdom spread far beyond the borders of Zazzau, carried by travelers, merchants, and emissaries to distant lands. Her name became synonymous with strength and grace, whispered in reverence around campfires, and spoken with admiration in royal courts. To many, she was a living legend, a queen who had not only triumphed in battle, but had reshaped the very destiny of her kingdom. Yet, to Nal, her greatest victory was not in the wars she had won or the foes she had vanquished. It was the lasting peace she had brought to her people, a peace that allowed them to thrive and live without fear. As the years passed, Nal's raven black hair turned silver, but her spirit remained unyielding. Though time and Islam softened her features, it did not dull her wisdom or will. She continued to lead with grace, courage, and resolve, endearing her even more to her people. Their love deepened with each passing year, as they watched their kingdom flourish under her guidance. When the time came to pass the crown to the next generation, she did so with peace and pride. Her calm confidence, which defined her reign, marked this final act assuring her people that the future was secure. Queen Nao's legacy would remain etched in their hearts.
I have led you with all my heart, and I will always be with you. Our kingdom will stand strong for generations to come.
His words cut through the stillness of the room, still carried the commanding power of the queen, shattering the fragile silence that had settled between them. It echoed through the courtyard. She had braced herself for this moment, preparing of the fearless leader felt inevitable. The impact still struck the people of Zazzau like a spear by the thousands, erupted into breathless. Their love for her Nao's chest diminished by time, and she blinked back. Her legacy became more than spillover. It was woven into blurring momentarily. The legend every fiber of her Zazzau urged her to crumble, told with reverence passed from parent to child. But she fought to ensuring her memory would never fade tall from the presence of the man who had once